Hey, beautiful people. How are y'all? It's really good to see you today. Thanks to all and hi to all my new followers and friends from my recent interview with Heather Tesh. Y'all are really nice, and I'm excited that you're here. And I'll just share first before I get into the Sunday angel message that I hear. This is a welcoming space for everyone. Y'all know I have a pretty interfaith background, and I just want to reiterate that this is safe for every faith, including those in deconstruction or people actively in religion or no religion. I figured you probably already knew that, but I wanted to reiterate it. I think that's it. As long as we're respectful and loving, that's really what matters. So, hi. Okay, let me tune in for our message today. It's really simple. They really want us to open our hearts to hope and to healing. They are the angels that came to me in my experience, um, who work with God, the Creator. Uh, this is not a mental journey. This is a heart journey. So if you try to conceptualize of it in like a mental way or questioning way, as I've often done, it really doesn't take you where they're trying to get us, which is into a place of heart-centeredness and love and openness to the Creator, to Source, and to being moved and changed and really to receiving wisdom through our inner knowing. Yeah, it's interesting. They're saying like it can be called the still small voice. It could be called the Buddha, the Christ, um, these are all mental paths of the inner truth, which is divine love, which is really only accessible through our hearts, or you can really only know it experientially when you experience it in your heart. That's why many of us get lost looking for answers outside of ourselves. That is saying that doesn't mean to deny any valid religious path if it's working for you, but let that be the path that opens the door to your own experience in your heart, because that's where healing happens. That's where love happens. That's where spiritual awakening happens. And it really doesn't have to be confusing at all. It really happens in the silence and in the stillness. And it's nothing that you can't have because it's who you are. It's like, I think this is a metaphor I've heard somewhere else too, but they're saying it's like being in the water as a fish and not knowing you're in the water just because it's everywhere. It's like becoming aware that that's what we are and where we are. And humans' ability to access these kind of states is really growing. Um, but they really, as soon as I try to tune into the collective energy, really bring me right back into the personal, individual experience, at least for what I'm sharing and the way my angels and I work is like, it's really personal. It's interesting to think about the collective and the Great Awakening and all that stuff, but it really does all happen through our own hearts. So try to come back to your heart. You can externalize it. It's interesting to think about what's happening in the whole world, but it really, all of the stuff that people are talking about, about this awakening is really a bunch of individuals awakening. So you're one of those individuals. And yes, it might cause some shakeups in your life. It might cause you to change the way you relate to people that you know. But that's just because their energy doesn't match with yours anymore. If you awaken, or as you awaken, it shifts things up. But trust that the relationships that are meant to be in your life as your authentic self, and the jobs and the people, the experiences, they're going to come. I mean, losing one person or one relationship or one thing really just makes space for the next thing. So just trust that if something's been taken away because of your journey, because of your healing, um, you can make peace with it and mourn it for a while, but know that that's not the end. There's other people that are waiting to be part of your life because you have that space now. And It's like they are showing me as you rearrange your energy, as you get more in alignment, as you cleanse and heal, um, it's just what's outside of you is going to change too. So as you change your internal experience, your external world will change. Um, that's nothing to be afraid of. That's something to really be celebrated because they want the outer world, or the outer world is meant to match your inner world. So when you change and you grow, yeah, some things are gone, and that sucks to say goodbye to certain things, but there's like something greater or something more in alignment with who you are coming. Let's see. Saying don't be afraid really loudly. If you are feeling afraid when you look out at the world, try to come back to your inner state and just look at your own fears, where you can heal fear and anger and sadness in yourself. They want to help you. Your angels want to help you. There's lots of resources out there as well. They just want you to know that looking at the outer world isn't going to bring you the peace that you are longing for. That starts within. And they're just showing me like, now they're showing me collective stuff. They're showing me like structures are crumbling. They're just showing me them crumbling. And they're really saying like the darkness or whatever you want to call that, those out of alignment with love, um, they're not going to win. They can't win. They've been trying to for a long time, but the gig is up, is what I'm hearing. Um, and that's playing out in different ways in different places on the planet. But the most important thing you can really do to help this process along and to help yourself is to heal yourself. You don't have to do anything fancy to do that. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to anyone. Of course, you can come see me. I would love it, but I do charge. I don't think I charge that much, but okay, sorry, I got off. They're saying it's an internal process. You have this God-given ability. You can work with people that are reflections of you or that you feel bring you into a place of healing and peace. But don't put all of your eggs in one basket, or don't put all of your stock in one external thing. Put it in the creator, divine love. That's really waiting to come into your heart and cleanse and heal you. And that's how the planet changes. That's how we shift. And it's really exciting. Let's see. I do worry a lot about all the suffering, of course, that I read about. And they're showing me that everyone who's suffering is held and cared for and seen in heaven, and they have their heavenly helpers. But they really are telling me to bring it back to ourselves again. I really want to tune in about all this stuff going on, but they're just saying these are bigger problems than can be solved with like a 20-minute angel message. So what I'm able to offer y'all is not necessarily answers about those big questions sometimes, but more just you can help make a big difference when you do your healing and when we all do our healing work, and let that light back in, and keep having hope. Even just the littlest bit of flame in your life of hope, like there should be like just lighting the littlest match. Because I've heard from some people this week they're feeling hopeless. So they're just saying if you can keep that little flame of hope, they're trying to like help you get through these dark phases, because as more and more light comes onto the planet and into our lives, we're being called to heal deeper and deeper levels of ourselves that we might have thought we already healed, we might not even know exist. So they're saying just be patient with yourself. The tide is turning, and it's going to get better and easier. This really is like a big shakeup, and it's happening to each of us in our own ways. So again, they say this every week, do your practices, whatever helps you, prayer, meditation, singing, sound healing, mindful movement, acupuncture, whatever you like to do, nature, all of these things are really valuable because they help you remember who you really are in your heart and not get lost in those thoughts that we all get lost in. They are really saying loudly, don't give up. And like they're saying it 100 times, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. They're saying the finish line's getting closer and it will be glorious. What they mean by the finish line is a place where we've healed, like collectively and individually, we've healed so much that we're not just being bombarded with personal situations where we have to heal a bunch of stuff. But we've all been thrown different curveballs. I don't know if that's true. Have you guys been? I mean, I have gone through some different things these past few weeks, months, but when I sometimes I'm like my whole life. But we're getting to a place where it's going to be more even keel and the practices help. It's almost like anchoring the light in our bodies. And it's going to be able to stay longer. Like you're going to feel it for longer periods of time where you're not taken over, but you do need to mind your thoughts. They are showing me your thoughts create your reality around you. And so as much as the light's coming in and we're anchoring it in our practice in the way that we're able to, whatever works for you, um, even if all this light's coming in, but your mind is telling you that you're upset or things are hard, as this light comes in, you really need to start watching your thoughts if you aren't already, and just being gentle with your mind and being like, oh, there's my mind going away with that again, and just stop. They want to give us guidance on how to deal with our thoughts. Like everyone has different patterns they're in, and so speak with your guides and your team about how to help your patterns. I got some great guidance last night in the middle of the night about how to deal with some of my patterns, my thought patterns. They said I could tell you. So you guys know that I get nervous to talk online. I'm a big people pleaser. I was also bullied like publicly and like traumatized publicly. So like being public is like a big healing thing for me. But they showed me two things. This was not in a dream. This was like in the middle of the night. I was awakened with these like downloads, kind of really gentle, nothing insanely like crazy, but it was when I share about my experience, I need to like really keep my focus on God and the creator and all that light I felt. I need to keep my face towards that, like really like focused in on the light. Because normally when I share, I'm like, look, they showed me my energy is like, oh, what are people going to say? And I'm looking at all the people around me and worried that someone's going to judge me because that's what happened in my life as a teen. And I need to really focus on the love I felt and the light I felt rather than what everyone else is going to say because it doesn't matter and they're going to say whatever they say. Except for y'all who are really nice, thank you. um, the other thing they showed me is that the more the spotlight is on me, the more I'm going to heal deeper and deeper layers of myself, which is like really powerful. They showed me like the spotlight's going to come so strongly on me more and more that, and it's going to like release a lot of healing. So this is all part of my healing journey for me. And yours is, so those are the kind of downloads I got to help me with my fears and worries. And it was not like I was in a deep state of meditation. I was just woken up with this knowledge. And this is the kind of knowledge they want to bring you. Like, what are your fears and worries? Please work with your team, your angels, with the creator, to help bring you some clarity because they're really just standing there like wanting to give you however you're able to receive it. Obviously, I needed to be woken up in the middle of the night with this. I didn't even get a dream about it. They were like, hey, these two things, go. And it wasn't even like they came to me in words. It was just a knowing. And that's the kind of stuff they want to do for all of us. So just trust that you can also receive these kinds of helpful messages. Okay, I'm going to see if there's anything in closing. They're saying everything's working out. We just can't always see it. So keep trusting and keep trusting that you're held. They're showing me like when we're at the end of our lives or even on the other side after our lives, like we're going to almost giggle with how worried we got about things when how things were actually okay, like from the heavenly realm. So that doesn't mean to diminish anything any of us are going through, but just know um, they're able to help us through all of these things and that our soul really understands a lot more than our personalities do. Okay, let me think if there's anything else. That's it. Again, as usual, they said go do this for yourself. So go do this for yourself. I'm always here too to help. I'll post my other video on Thursday. If you find me on social media, I post my angel messages there during the week. And you can also book with me if you want like more specific guidance. And you could also, whatever, buy my book. I don't know. And finally, Betty and I and Jay Clay and a few other awesome experiencers, including David Williamson, who has an incredible story. In fact, I will link his near-death experience in the description today. A few amazing teachers were leading a retreat in Tulum, Mexico next March. This is like a sacred healing space where you're going to be around 8 spiritual teachers and 20 there's space for 20 participants, and it's going to be really beautiful and really fun. And obviously, awakening can happen anywhere, but if you want to come up to the beach and receive healing and lessons and guidance with all these near-death experiencers who carry this like really awesome frequency, and it's also other people who are into the spiritual world, but cool and like down to earth. Um, come with us. We would love, if this feels like it's part of your path, we'd love for you to join us. Let's see if there's anything else. That's it. Okay. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, Thursday and whatever. Bye.